let's go back to the apply curve, and I think something that would be more useful is to view this as, let's say we're a curtain wall. And so let's just create a general pattern. So we would have let's say when you would on a curtain wall, you'd have like a mullion, which is the glass framing. You'd have one of those every 4 feet or so in the horizontal direction, and maybe every 8 feet in the vertical direction. So let's just take this, and I've also created this line right here. So we can do this command called array curve. And you already have the object selected that you're going to repeat in the array. Then you have to select the path curve, which would be this curve right here. And it gives you this option where you can array this curve along in based on the number of items along, and it will tell you automatically it will space them evenly, or you can tell it the exact distance between the items, and then it'll tell you how many items will come up when you do that. So let's just put 4 feet in between them. It seems like a lot. Let's redo that. Let's try 8 feet. So then we just have this simple grid pattern right here, which we can apply in a second. Were you going to say something?
Sorry, you got this between the two lines that you created somehow?
Oh, I just drew. Yeah, I just drew 2 lines in order to. I just drew 2 lines pretty much randomly to create the kind of border of the curtain wall. So, and let's say you could bring this here and select all of those, as well as the exterior piece again. And I would switch back into perspective. And type apply curve. And once again, select this surface, and it'll give you some pretty interesting pattern.
Sorry, when I do the right curve, it seems to go above the line that kind of right along those opposite direction.
Oh, it depends on the side for which you selected. So, if you want to do that, select it again, and yeah. Oh, and then make sure. Do you have like one single curve like along the whole line? All right, hold on a second. I think a big difficulty is that, yeah, type hit near, and yeah, that should help. There you go. And when you do it along that, and make sure you click at let's say if you're selecting that one, yeah, make sure that you select this curve. We'll select this curve first. And then, yeah. There we go. So that's a way to create like an interesting pattern, and maybe that could be your curtain wall at some point. Another way you could always do it in another way is just to create vertical planes and do intersections. Yeah, what was your question?
Yeah, I forgot. What was the command that you used to take the 2D array and place it over the 3D curve surface?
Apply. Wait, hold on a second. Apply curve. So, yeah, I'll do it again real quick. So we have those selected, and then I'll type in apply curve right here.
So can you apply the 3D objects to the curve?
No, you can't apply 3D objects to the curve. But what you can do, if you wanted to, is create 3D objects from the curves that you put on there. So let's just say you wanted to create something that just came off of that. Oops. So you just had that form there. You could, oops, well, that's pretty strange, but could do like a, I don't know, something along there. I don't know what you would want to be doing, but I don't know, you can always use these lines to create stuff. So I'm going to take this curve right here, or this surface, and I'm going to copy it to the 3D glazing. And I'm going to turn off that blue layer, the construction layer. And then I'm going to split this.
Wait, can you slow down?
Yep.
All right. Just do that one thing again.
All right, so we have this general surface right here that we created that curtain wall with. So I'm going to copy that over to this layer right here. It's called 3D glazing. If you right-click on 3D glazing and go down here to copy objects to layer, then it will be on there, and we can turn off this 3D construction layer so that we're actually starting to create the forms that we want. And we can use this trim command to get rid of the extra glass that we don't need.
How do you copy over to glazing?
If you have it, once you have this layer selected, or this surface, sorry.
Is that the original surface that you...
Yeah, this is the original surface that I created the curves from.
Okay. And you're also selecting the lines you created?
No, I'm going to use the lines later, I guess. Yeah, we'll just copy this over to 3D glazing.
So I have an issue. I can't turn off the 2D view. It's like a check mark next to one of the layers. What does that do?
Oh, that means that's your current layer.
Uh-huh.
That's the layer you're working on. So if you thing you can always do is click on the default layer, and that way you can make sure you turn off. You could even turn off the entire. You can turn off those 2D things again.
So you can't turn off like the current layer, and you can't turn off like the group of a current layer even if the current layer is within the group.
How do you copy to the layer instead of just copying thing inside the space?
You click on the surface,
Yeah.
and then you go up here to the layers over here, and you type copy objects to layer. Yeah.
How do you... The line repetition, what was the command again?
The what?
The line, dividing the line.
What do you mean by
What
divide?
you did for the windows, for the curtain wall.
Oh, the array.
Yes.
Oh, and if you want to use like a certain distance, you can. The command is called array curve.
Okay.
That way you can use like a certain distance, so you're not just guessing.
Cool, thank you.
So once again, we're going to turn off this 3D construction layer.
So how do you do this one?
You could just type in TRIM, or Control T also works.
And you're supposed to what?
First, I select this line, which I'm just going to use to trim out the area that's not going to be a curtain wall. What'd you say?
Yeah, then hit enter, and then you. That means it's not covering the whole thing. So a way you could you still have the construction layer on. Turn off the construction layer real quick. Oh, did you copy one of the that actual surface to did you copy that one surface to the what do you call that?
The glazing layer. If you go back here, you see that I have this just general surface, and I copied it over. Do you have that
Actual general form exploded as well? Yeah, you did. So if you just want to select that surface and copy it over to the 3D glazing, and then you can turn off the 3D construction layer.
So I selected two.
That's one under the
Surface on.
So then you just have that one,
Select the surface.
and
For some reason.
you may have to you can try trimming it, but it may need to
Yeah. Okay.
you may need to extend it because it may not be covering the whole thing. So just type in extend, and then hit enter again, so you can do dynamic extend, and then you can just click on the bottom of that line, and then just pull it along. If you zoom out, and you can pull it longer. Maybe not that long, but I don't know what it's doing. Something strange is going on with that, but just try that and see if you can trim it.
And then you could just delete that line if you wanted to. Yeah.
So I'm having issues trimming this. So I want to go to trim. I want to use this curve, trim the surface.
So
Sure, look at all this curve.
all right. I would just type if you just try to trim real quick right now. Oh, you hit enter, and then click on the top here.
This?
Yeah, that's not working. All right, so a way you can test why it may not be working.
Oh, crap. Okay.
I think it's fine. Actually, if you want to select those three lines again. Actually, here one. Yeah, look on that surface. Try just trimming just with that surface on the top. Alright, so something's not going right there. So if you actually select that and select the surface and that line, and click and type in intersect. And if you go over to the side, make sure that it's actually covering the whole thing. That's strange. Try trimming with that line.
That works.
Let's strange. Sometimes it gets funky with these more difficult curves, and see if you can use that curve to trim that out now.
Yeah, it's working. Thanks.
All right, no problem. All right, so so now we have this general curtain wall, and if you go into rendered view, you can see that. Oops, let's turn it on. Let's go into the options. I just type in options and then go up to Rhino Render and click on Render Curves. That way we can see these lines without actually having to make them solid for right now. So you see we just have this kind of crazy curtain wall right here. And let's say you're wanting to get a good view from inside, but you're finding it hard to get a good camera angle. If you right click up here and go to viewport properties, you can change the length of the lens. So at 50 millimeters, it's pretty telephoto, and you're looking pretty far in the distance. So if you want to make it a wider, more like fishbulb, you can cut that in half, or mess around with that, and you can always get a lot more view out of it.
So wait, how did you make it all transparent?
I turned this to rendered up here, and that's already. If you look over here, this glazing layer, I've already set it so that it has transparency.
So I'm zooming in. This is like really slow when you're comparing it.
A good way to fix that is to click on like an object like that and type zoom, or just hit Z, enter, and then selected, and that kind of like resets the focus, and then you should be able to zoom in a lot better then. So this is something that she's having troubles with. So sometimes the camera doesn't work that well. Like you feel like you're working really hard just to zoom in a little bit. That's because it's gotten kind of a focus on one part. And so if you want to make sure that you have the camera really rotate around the piece you're working on really easily, select that piece you're working on, and then type in Z for zoom. And all these options will come up, which extents would mean you could zoom to everything you have in the model that's turned on, in, out, one-to-one. But also this one right here is called selected, and that will just zoom to the actual piece you have selected. So let's do that again. If you're zoomed out way here and you just want to zoom into that piece you have selected, and then it will rotate around there when you are moving around. So let's turn this 3D construction layer back on, and let's go back in. Sorry. Let's select all of these surfaces. And let's copy them to the 3D cladding layer.
All the surfaces?
Yeah, all the exterior surfaces, not like just the ones that, maybe let's turn off the glazing layer so to make it easier for you. So you're just selecting these. Actually, easy way to do it would be to select all of the objects on the 3D construction layer. And then copy them to the cladding layer.
Whoa. Actually, I selected all the layers.
Yeah, it's sometimes if you're not sure, like if you're working on a lot of different layers, it's not so good to use this select by layer command. So maybe it's just better to go and select these pieces one by one. And then copy them over. Has everyone got those copied over onto a different layer?
What layer we got?
To the 3D cladding layer.
How do you unselect something?
If you can, so you can hold down Control and click on it, or sometimes in some options it won't let you do that. So I don't know.
Start over.
Yeah, start over. Yeah.
I was just, I think I looked away and missed something. When you said copy these layers to the cladding layer.
Oh,
are
sorry.
you making
Sorry.
a
I meant
physically
I meant to
or-
say copy surfaces.
Sorry.
Surfaces.
Copying those surfaces into cladding layer. Are you making a physical copy of them, or are you shifting which layer they belong to?
No, you're just making a physical copy of them because I'm kind of keeping that 3D construction layer as a reference, so you can always go back just in case you like lost a piece or you messed up, so that you have like the original reference.
Okay, so you're dividing it up into different.
Yeah. So
You're dividing the initial model into different layers.
yeah, I'm creating a physical copy of these pieces. If you did want to just change it, you could same place on the same menu right above copy objects to layer. There's change object layer, and you could do that. So why don't you go into your 3D cladding layer and right click over on this circle over here, or just click on this circle over here and change the color to whatever color you want your building to be on the outside. If you want to get fancy, you can also get into textures, but we'll deal with that later. So kind of like we did with the other form, we're gonna split. And we're gonna use these layers as well. So that we can create just the general form around the curtain wall. So I pretty much just took this form right here, which is that same surface, and typed in split. And I used these same curves that I used to trim out the glazing. So you can always do trim or split, but split's just easier for when you want to cut out something in the middle. Yeah.
So I have my glazing, I have my wall. So split. So
Actually, what you could do in this case is you could use select your wall first, and then hit enter, and then you could select your glazing, the actual surface, and to try and trim it out.
Oh, I should use trim.
Or no, this is correct.
Split.
Yeah, split it. And I'm not sure if it worked once you tried clicking on. Yeah, put on the yellow surface, and you can delete that. See it worked there. So you can. This is actually a good point.
So why is it not see-through?
Oh, because you have to go into rendered mode.
Oh yeah.
So this is a good point that he brought up. Let's say you want to keep that glazing layer on. You can have this this surface right here. You could type in split, and instead of using the lines, you could also use this other this blue surface that we created earlier to trim it out. And you can then see that it trimmed those out, and now we have a transparent piece.